Hi, I'm Anthony, and this is the first video blog for the production of the Gumby.com spot that I'll be animating over the next couple of months. Right now we're in the production area. This is the big board, and this is where I keep track of all the shots, shooting order, and any other things I need to keep track of. They're up here on the board. There are 10 shots in this spot. The longest shot is shot 10. Starts somewhere around here, and it involves Gumby jumping into the computer screen, and then we see animation inside the computer. So all of that stuff needs to be shot first before I shoot the actual computer. This shot, shot 9, where you see Gumby standing by the keyboard and he jumps, it turns into a ball and jumps in. I've got to shoot all this stuff first. This shot is huge. It's got all the transformations of the little characters. He turns into a tornado, spins really fast, and causes all the blocks and objects to become upset, and they begin to orbit around the tornado. Then the blocks start stacking up here, and then on the blocks appear different episodes of Gumby, and I'll need to get those superimposed through After Effects or something. Then Gumby reforms, turns back into himself, and ta-da, Gumby.com. So I have all the shots broken down here into shot lengths and shooting order. So first shot is shot 10, 647 frames. I've got the computer screen that will be used later to when Gumby is doing a little tap dance on the keyboard. Got rig for the tornado. Done one tornado test. I've got this really great winder rig. So let's go into the studio now. It's right through that door. There he is, the big guy. This is sort of my Gumby stand-in. I use him for everything. For, testing shots, setting up camera angles. Little bench here to work on things, build rigs, fix puppets, whatever I need to do. Here's the camera rig, designed for tracking shots. Shot 10 will have a tracking shot where we push slowly into the towards the transformation sequence part of the shot. It'll slowly come closer and closer. So this is the set, and I originally had the sweep from the Gumby Doodle spot. It was a 4x8 sweep. It just kind of went back, kind of swept past and up to the top there. But because it was only 4 feet wide, it was turning out that I couldn't get the wide shots I needed. So I'm building a new set. I've got a new top installed right now. Still putting the finishing touches on that. And instead of having a sweep, I'm going to have just a big white background here. On this shoot, I'll be using Dragon Frame software. This is the camera I'll be using, Canon 40D. It's got a pretty nice little lens on it, some good wide angles, which I need for this. My Dragon Frame workstation. I'll be moving this closer over to the set. Once everything's set up, I'll be using this to shoot. And over here, I've got my little editing area, and I have the whole thing all timed out already as an animatic with all the frame counts, time code, all that stuff, just so I can keep track and make sure I shoot enough frames for each shot. These are the X sheets. Each line represents one frame, and there's 1080 frames in the entire spot. So these are my worksheets basically. So they're blank now. They're broken down into the 10 shots. The red line separates each shot. But as I go, I'll be, as I plan each shot, as I shoot tests, I'll be making notes so I know where to hit. That shot 10 is going to have a lot of notes. Well, that's it for this week. I'll try to do this every week just so you can see where I'm at with this. So this is the second video update for the Gumby.com spot, and I am on the set. I'm just trying to figure out what the last frame is going to look like on the very last shot. And these are just stand-in pokey, stand-in Gumby, stand-in blocks. Everything is just roughing things in for size. Now these blocks are temporary. I want to make custom blocks and I want them to be a bit bigger. I don't want to go with these standard ones. And the ones on the bottom, I'm going to have different designs and things like that painted on them. So that's going to take some time to build. But yeah, I changed the storyboard, so now Pokey is now entering the shot at the very end. And here's the camera rig. It's finished. All the parts have come in. I've got steel rods for it to run on. I've got the winder rig here that will actually move it manually. The camera's going to start up here and come down. So it'll be wide. It'll come down to this composition here after the tornado subsides. And the camera rig is supported. I'm using a ladder here, a weighted ladder. It's C-clamped to it, but it's all really solid. So here's the set. It's finished for the most part. I've got a grid of overhead to support the rig for the tornado, and I've got a light attached to the rig or the grid. So that's pretty handy since I'm in a very limited space. This is probably a really good way to keep everything up and out of the way. I'll be working from over here. There's the dragon setup here. I'm just shooting test shots, trying to figure out the exposure. I'm just kind of playing around with lighting at this point. I need to make sure I shoot at a slow enough shutter speed so I can get some blur on the tornado. So I'm doing a 2-second exposure. Everything's ready to start shooting some tests. So that's about it for this little update. I've just updated the storyboards. You might want to check those out as well with the new ending drawings. Talk to you later. Bye. So here's a quick video update. I'm in the middle of my first test on shot 10, and I'm at the part where all the blocks are spinning around the tornado, and they have to be attached to a rig. So this part's really slowing down, but I've got about 300 frames almost of the test, which should be about 600 frames at the end. But just shooting really roughly. These little guys, these little morphed characters, they're just really quick renditions. And I'm learning a lot from shooting this test. I got to smooth out the camera move still. I'm going to have to shoot a special pass for any block that crosses in front of the tornado, just so the wires don't cover it. But other than that, it's going pretty well. I just built this rig yesterday. It looks like a spider. I'm going to call it Spider Rig, which spins independently of the tornado. So if I want to spin it, I can, but it will move with the tornado as it progresses towards the camera on that rig up there. So I made about a dozen of these little magnet rigs. They attach to the set, so I can attach the blocks to the end of the rig, get it up off the ground a little bit, and then attach it to one of these legs on the spider rig. Yeah, I had to pull the set apart, and I put all this thin steel sheeting down there. So yeah, I can move this thing around, and so it's pretty cool. I think it's going to come in handy for other things too. Maybe put magnets on the bottom of Gumby's feet. Who knows? But I have some flexibility there. The other thing is the shot features a camera move. The camera started up here, so I have all these increments that I marked. Manually moved the camera 120 frames. There's a tilt I kind of threw in there and I need to finesse somewhat. There's follow focus, and I don't know. I think I'll probably finish this test next week. There's a lot to do still, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the right amount of blur on some of these blocks. I'll probably put about, just as part of the test, I'll probably put 10 blocks on the rig and see how it all holds together. Alright, well that's it for now. Bye. Hi, this is Anthony. I am shooting my first video update for Shot 10 on the Gumby.com spot. This is the rig that the tornado's on, and the blocks are on. It spins independently, manually. There's a rig up here, winder rig, so the tornado can move down the path and then arc over. Most of the blocks are on this spinning rig. Some are on weighted rigs, such as this larger block, and some are on these magnetic rigs. I put a thin piece of metal underneath this PVC tabletop so that I can actually easily stick these down, slide them around. It's very clean and quick. There's no MoCo involved. The camera is on this track that I built out of Berkey parts and a winder. Just move it by hand. Focus is all done by hand. And I'm about to shoot frame 382. This is about where I'm at right now. So you can see there's a lot of chaos going on. Each frame takes, some of these frames take about an hour to set up. Some a little quicker. So that's why it's taking so long. Here in the cinematography window, you can shoot, in Dragon Frame, you can actually shoot multiple exposures. So here I have the main exposure, and then I'm shooting a second exposure after my animation exposure where I pull out some of the rigs. So I will shoot the frame, and then I will remove, just manually pull this off the set so that I don't see this rig here. So I have a clean pass there. Anything with a rig I'll just pull out, shoot the second exposure. Sometimes I shoot a third exposure if rigs are obscuring blocks in the background of the tornado. I have to spin it again. But anyway, that's my update. I just wanted to show you a little behind the scenes of what's going on over here with this shot.